Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, and this is your host Rakesh, and this is our second video on the series. Here we'll be doing our ReactJs local environment setup, right? So I have noted down a couple of points where we have to do step-by-step process, and then we are ready to start with React. So let's start. So first thing you have to install Node.js on your machine. So why do we need Node.js? So Node.js is the server where you will be running your ReactJs, just to understand on higher level. But Node.js can do little more things. We can just directly search Node.js and we can click on this download, right? And then you have a couple of options here. So one is LTS and one is current version. So the difference between these two is LTS is the stable version which you can use for your production, right? If you are building an application which is moving to production upcoming time, right? And if you are trying some latest version of Node.js, then you can use your current version. So people do not recommend for production the current version. So, and also like other packages which is based on your Node.js will be supported mostly on LTS version. So if you choose LTS, right, whichever operating system you have. So as I have macOS, so I will be just installing this. So you can click on that. It will start downloading from server, right? So once you have this, even Windows or whatever, so you can click on this, simply select all your default settings and you can go ahead and install that. Okay, you can agree on that. So you might have different options based on your operating system. You can choose accordingly and just do the basic setup, right? Okay, so now how can you know is that Node.js is installed on your system? So what you can do, you can open your terminal. Okay, for Windows you can directly go to Command R and type CMD and enter. I think you will get that. Otherwise you can find out terminal on your Windows, right? I believe you know. So here you can just say node-f1 version. So you should be able to see your version, right? And you should also have this npm with Node.js, which is which automatically install when you install Node.js. I'll tell you why you need that. Okay, so we have npm and node. So npm is your package manager. Okay, so package manager, right? So which will help us to download or install a couple of supporting packages, right, which is based on Node.js. So this is the place where from we download packages for React, okay, and packages for even Node.js. So you can search here, like let's say even if you search for mostly all supporting libraries will be available on npm, right? You can always go there and directly use npm I graph. So we'll come to that, and maybe separate session I'll take about Node.js and npm and all of that. So here what is next thing? So next thing is VS Code. Okay, VS Code or Sublime Text. What is that? So this is the IDE which you will use to edit your code or write your code, right? So there are a couple of options available, right? So you can do install VS Code. You can also install the Sublime Text, right? Also you can go online tools, because nowadays you have lot many online compiler available, right? So I think something like that. Yeah, so this one is I think even I like the most. So this has readily available setup. So if you just select React, JavaScript or Node.js or whatever you wanted to learn, you can directly just click on that. It will just quickly set up for you everything, and here we go, like you can directly edit your app.js, right? So okay, so you can see the effect. Other option is Sublime Text. So you can install this editor. This is very famous generally. Like a lot of people use this. Okay, my favorite is VS Code, but there are reasons why it is so favorite. Okay, you can just directly search VS Code. It is from Microsoft. Basically they have created this. So you have again all options for different operating systems, right? So based on your requirement, you can download one of the file, and then once you install it, you have a couple of options here. So you can see, you can explore your files, right? You can search your file on project. You can set up your Git repository. Okay, we'll come to that. If you do not know about GitHub, we can debug code here. Okay, if you have a big application, you might have errors or bugs in your system, so you wanted to find out where is the bug. So that's when we use debugging, right? And you have more plugins available here which will help you to write code, right? Which will help you to write code. There are see, for React, I will suggest you some plugins which will help you. Okay, so help you to write code. Okay, I think we are good till here. So once you download any of these, so if you download this one, and however you install any of the application on your operating system, the similar way you have to do, you select your default settings, right? Once you install that, you will have something like this, right? So when you can, like, I'll just open one new window. So it will open up like that. Okay, I believe you have already installed your VS Code, right? So you can take a pause if you wanted to go for tea or something. You can go and come back again, right? So now the basic setup is done, where we have our Node.js installed and VS Code or Sublime Text is installed on your system, right? So what is next? So next we'll talk about our ReactJs. So we was here, right? So that day we was discussing what is React and what it can do. So what is next? So if you scroll down a bit, right? So you should see some of the sample components, right? And stateful component, your application. So all of that will create down the line in the course. Let's scroll back and just click on this get started. So once you come here, right? So you see they have started with telling you like the same thing. React is a JavaScript library, right? So what they give is try React. So basically, before even jumping to application directly, you should try React on any of online code editor, right? So even they had given some playgrounds. So you try online. If you like it, you move forward, right? So they have also given add React to your website. So you can add React to your website within a minute. So how's that? So I think I've written that point here. So you wanted to add React to your you wanted to add ReactJs with your website, little bit, right? Little bit in the sense in your website only one page you want a feature like React by directly injecting your ReactJs libraries, right? So they have options here. Yeah, so here we go. So here we have this ingestion, so where you will be injecting your ReactJs, okay, DOM and ReactJs, right? And when you will go for production, just replace it with this production min, right? So then you can easily use. So I think you can try that if you want, but there are a couple of options. If you wanted to directly like you want to try React, you can try on any online. But if you have, for example, let's say you have a WordPress website and you wanted to use React for one of the page, so you can use this method. So once you initialize your React.js on your header.php, I think you should be able to use in your application or website. Okay, so this is the quick way to add the React.js on any of old website or any of your existing project where you was using something else, right? The next way, so they had given here, so next way is create a new React app using their own npx command. So I think this is the same thing, add React to your website, which I was just talking about. The next thing is create a new React app, right? So so I'll not go through each and everything, right? So you can read your own. I think that should be good if you read, right? I believe if you read, you will understand a little more. So I'll tell you to set up first, then we'll go through each and every things in detail. So this npx create React app and my app. So what is there? So npx will actually execute the piece of piece of code, right? So which will help you to generate your folders, files. So basically, if I ask you to set up your React application, right? So if this thing is not available, so what will you do? You will set up from beginning, you will set up your packages, and you will set up all of these things, right? So that might take time, and you might face some issues, and you'll take a lot of time to set up your project. So what you can do is, they have provided this command, which is npx create react app. So which will help you to execute all of this and create a project for you. Okay, so if I increase the font, yeah. So here, this third part is your application name, right? Whatever name you wanted to give. So let's try that. Let me create a folder. So the folder I have created here, so ReactJs course. So everything will have here about ReactJs. Okay. So let me open a terminal, and I'll say npx create react app. You can copy paste that command from there. That will be the easier for you in initial. Let me increase the font. I think you should be able to see now. Okay, npx create react app. So you are telling npx create my react app, and the name of react will be okay, test app. I think that will be easiest one. So if I enter now, so you will see, right? You will see some of the options. So what is say cannot create project name. So what is happening here? No longer contain capital. So they have restrictions here. So I think you can lead to that same situation. So what you can use is underscore if you want to define test underscore app, or you can give any other name without this, right? You can say my app. Okay, anything you can give, doesn't matter. I think they are not allowing for the caps. Okay, so you can also use underscore. Now if you enter, you should see something is going on here, right? So React have this whole setup internally available. Okay, npx is running that setup and helping us to create this React app. Okay, you see a lot of work is going on installing React. So basically they are installing the packages. React is a package, and I'll tell you, they are installing from here. Okay, if you go this npmjs.org, right, and you find out this, it's available. Basically they have kept here because it's open source, right? So see, it is here. React script. I'm just telling you where from these things are coming, right? So these are coming from there, and you can always install these anywhere. Like if you just say npm, like they have a command. So the way you should know how we can install any package, so you just come here, it give you the command install by using this. So anywhere in the terminal, just redirect to your repository wherever you wanted to install. You should have a PackageJson file. If you do not have, you just need to say npm init. So npm init will help you to create your basic PackageJson. So once you have PackageJson, you should be able to install any packages you want. So I think if we come back here, still doing some work, right? So we are near to this end of setup. Yeah, awesome. So you see everything is created, right? Okay, if you keep scrolling down, you should see some of the things here, right? It says using this command npm start, you can start your development server. If you run a build, right, so then you should be able to bundle your application for the production, right? This is the very basic, so which they are suggesting, right, just to start the application. Okay, awesome. So what should we do? So I can just clean up this one first. Okay, so I'll do ls. Maybe Windows you have to do dir, right? So cd my app. So you are in your project now. If you see here my app, right? Okay, awesome. So now you have to just say npm start. Now you will think how this npm start is working. So let me go back. Okay, before even going there, let me open my VS Code. So one way in Windows you will get right click option. You right click and open with VS Code, you can do that. Otherwise you can also open a CMD with this particular location and you can open a VS Code, right? But in Mac I have option like even Windows you can do with the code dot. So code dot will open that particular project for you here. Before even running that command npm start, I should tell you where from is that coming. So any Node.js project you will find this particular file, okay, called PackageJson, right? I believe you should be able to see all the fonts. Let me reduce a bit. 16 would be fine. Okay, so any Node.js project you should be able to see this file, which is package.json. And if you scroll down, if you see first they have a name, right? They have an app name which we had given. Remember we had given while creating this application. So we have this name, right? We have some dependencies. So dependencies, right? So looks like very heavy word, but it is so simple. So dependencies is required to develop your project, plus these are the libraries which will go to production also. Basically while you run that command, npm run build, so that command will only install dependencies. Okay, so we'll come to that. Okay, so there is something called dev dependencies. Okay, this one, so you will get that let's say one library you just required for the development but not required on the production, right? So there is a difference. So when you are developing something, okay, let's say this React DOM is pretty much required even if you are on you are in the development phase or you are on the production. If you do not understand production, let me know. Okay, dev dependencies is the dependency required just for development. Okay, so let's say one basic example is, so you will do testing, unit testing on your development phase, right? You will not do on production. So that's why we keep dev dependencies okay, so that once we move to production, that's all, these are not required. So these are two different things. I think you should understand now. Next thing is scripts, right? So script have a couple of things. So you can run react script start. So instead you are doing that, you are just defining here start, build, or test, or reject, right? So you are assigning any command here. You can also create your own commands. Let's say you can start Mac. So basically let's say you have some different command to start on Mac machine, right? So let's say you are saying port 4000, right? So it do not understand and so and Windows also you wanted to have 400. So then basically you have to create different commands, basically different script for Mac or Windows, right? So that's why this script is very helpful while you are developing, right? So VS Code, once you open on a specific project, right? So you can open a new terminal from here. A good part of this terminal is this always open with the path you are on. Okay, so now because you already know now what this command will do, so I have to just say npm. I know it took very long to start this React app, but I just wanted to explain you what is this. So you can open the terminal from here. So now if you open a terminal right, so you can directly use this command. So there is a command, right, we already discussed. So this command you can directly run on npm on this particular terminal, npm start. So if you run npm start, it will come here basically and start running these commands. So the proof is, I think I should have shown you that. So let me show you again. Okay, so now you see here these guys are running the same command, right? React script start. So once you say that, you should be able to run your project on this particular URL. So you can copy this particular local URL, otherwise it will automatically open here on your browser. Okay, now you can see I think you should be happy to see this project now. Okay, great. Let me come back. So where we was, yeah, so now we should be able to create our React app, right? So we are here. So the next part is to understand project structure, right? How a React application look like and what is where basically. So I think I have told you about the package.json little bit, and there is one video I have uploaded on my channel in Hindi. So that is all about package.json. I think that will take you to the detail level of package.json if you want to understand that. So I'll also leave the link in description. Okay, so you can take that one and understand about package.json. Okay, next thing is if you come to any project, you see this read md right? So .md file. So this .md file have some information about your project. So because ReactJs given some default documentation here, right? You can always replace this, right? You can replace, and based on your current project setup, you can always write down here, like maybe you have different settings, or you wanted to give some information here, basic information, you can always give. But how it will look like, okay, I'll just show you. So let me take you to ReactJs GitHub seed. So I'll take you to one seed project. Okay, I'll open it. I'll show you how readmd look, right? If you upload your project on any of Git repository, right? So it will render like this. So I think you understood what is readmd file now. Okay, and we have also already spoke about package.json. Okay, so now I'll talk about this package.json. So package.json basically keep all the information or keep all the track, right? Package.json basically keep track of all your dependency and dependency. Basically every project have a sub dependencies. Basically they are also using some other dependencies internally. Dependencies in the sense they are also using different libraries from where is that? From here, right? They might be internally using couple of different libraries, right? So they also have a version, right? If you say Yang parser, so this has this version basically, right? So you have Yang's Y18. So these are having different versions, and these packages are using this internally. Okay, so we need to keep a track of everything, right? We do not want to install again and again same thing. If I say npm install here, what it will do, it will go to package log file. Okay, and it will check if that version is already there in my local. Is something there on the npm which we need to upload, which we need to update here on my local machine. So it will detect, right? If I say npm I, it will go compare. So if there is something to update, it will see. Just now I think something updated here, right? And it will also notify you. See, you have minor version update from this to this, right? So why it only updated this one? So because it has a comparison. So it has the local version of everything you have in local, right? And it has the latest version on server where it is npmjs.com, right? So basically it compare these two versions, and whatever required it will update. Okay, I think that is more sufficient, and otherwise you can go to my another video of package.json. Great. What next is git ignore. Okay, so here you have a couple of things. So sorry, if you are keeping your code to maintain, or like basically you wanted to maintain with a big team or something, you wanted to push on git, right, where you will maintain your code. Okay, and you wanted to create your branch or anything that sort. So you need to keep a git ignore, otherwise it will post everything, right? All of these packages, a lot of packages are here, so you don't want to do that. So that's why you keep git ignore, so that when you push to git, so you should be telling, okay, I don't want it to push this node modules. You might be thinking, why do we don't want it to push these node files? So let's say another developer want the same project code. So if you push this one, a lot of code which you can download from npm.js, right? Why do you want to push that? Why you wanted to make your project heavy or your repository heavy, right? So what you do, you just ignore this, right? Or any of file which you are using for your purpose, you will just keep it here as a ignore. that will not go to GitHub. Now if another person check out your branch and they do npm I, they will again get by default this one from npm js based on your dependency basically. So these dependencies and dev dependencies, right? These two it will find out, and it see you don't have node modules, then it will download everything fresh, right? Otherwise, if you already have this module and package log file, it will find out the local availability and server availability, basically compare everything, and then install node modules, right? Okay, I think we are here a bit long video. Please go for tea or some break and come back here. Okay, next is this public folder where you have the main index file, index.html. So where like any HTML page you see, it look like that. So it has header, right? A header has couple of different things like, and you have this root div. Okay, so everything React will render under this, right? That's the root div where we will be executing our component or manipulating our components or whatever, right? So we'll do everything here. Okay, so now we have couple of things like we have logo and all of that, so don't worry about all of this manifest. We'll talk about all of these later, right? So let's jump to the main folder, which is src, where our all component will lie, where we'll create our folders whenever we develop the application, right? So the main file here is app.js. Okay, so after this, let's jump to this src folder quickly. So if you see the src folder, you see a couple of files here, right? So the main file is index.js, where you will be actually running your app, right? So where you will be injecting all components or combining all the components to the app and then putting to the root. So now you see we have root. So what is root? React dom.create root. So basically here we are just selecting that, right? So we are saying this is simple JavaScript. If you understand JavaScript, get element by ID, right? So we had the ID, right? So if I open up that file, okay, so you see this file here. So you have this div with the ID root, and here what we are doing, we are selecting that ID, right? So, and this is the React DOM available from React DOM library, right? Where we are creating the root. Okay, so root.render, basically we have a app component which we are importing, right? We are importing from app.js, right? So if you see this code, simple. So if you see your React app, you have all of this, right? Edit this. So I'll just clean up everything and just say hello, or I'll just say h1, right? Okay, you see hello world, right? So don't confuse with this right now. We'll slowly tell you how to create the component and everything. Okay, so I'll tell you the hierarchy. So this is our base HTML file which run here at the first, and I'll just also tell you if you inspect this, right? So this is the tool on browser which help us to understand. So this is the root, right? We was talking about root. Okay, and if you see in the code, it is empty, right? But the next file execution happen is index.js, right? So index.js has this code written where we are saying react dom.create root, right? And we have this selector, right? Root selector. And then on top of that, we are saying render what? App component. Okay, render app component. What is app component? We have imported this app component here, right? So if you just hold your command button, if you hold your command button on Mac and what you say, control button on your Windows, right? You should be able to see one link. If you click on that, you should be able to navigate to that particular component. Okay, you see what you see here. There is a normal JavaScript function normally returning one div. So it's so simple. Okay, it's JSX. So I'll come to that section. I will be explaining you how JSX work. Okay, don't worry about that. But pretty much if you remove all of this, right, class name and everything, you should see normal HTML, right? We are returning here. Okay, hello world. So hierarchy is from here to here and here to here, right? So anything you add here, like in the app.js, if you say like p, this is p tag, okay, right, it adds up here. Okay, I think you know how you can run your application and how the structure look like. So we'll create component in our next video. We'll create a fresh component. Okay, I'll tell you from initial, like how you can create an import, or how you can import your CSS, how import your images, right? Everything we'll talk about in a next video. Okay, so our next video most probably will be on I think I already kept the notes about that. So our next video will be all about creating new components, understanding virtual DOM, okay, and how to create reusable components. Okay, so awesome. Thank you so much guys for staying so long. Hope you have understood everything, whatever I have explained. If not, please do leave the comment, right? I will work on that separately and definitely create another video about that. Okay, thank you so much guys. Bye bye, take care.